Hi, long time no see. It has been, I think, at least over a month, like 40 days or something, since I posted on this channel. And if you're a craft buddy, you know that's not typical for me. I usually take like 1 week off at Christmas a year, and other than that, I'm pretty consistent. Thursdays, 4 p.m. Central, I'm here with you guys. Since so many of you have been lovely, have reached out, asked how I'm doing, how the family's doing, you were worried about me if I was having more health issues because of my postpartum preeclampsia, and I wanted to come on here and let you guys see me, let you guys know that we're all doing okay, but to give you an update on where I've been and what's been going on. So grab yourself a beverage, settle in, and let's chat, and I will fill you in on what's been going on. So if this is the first time you are here and watching my channel, I am not a vlog channel, I'm not a lifestyle channel, I'm a DIY and home decor channel. And I did not think I'd be doing one health update this year, let alone 2 health updates, but here we are. I had shared back in December or January, I guess now, my birth update and sharing that Henry was here, but I was admitted with postpartum preeclampsia, which is basically a super serious birth complication after delivery. Up to 6 weeks after delivery, you can develop this. I did about 3-4 days afterwards. I was readmitted. If you want more info on that and Henry's birth, I will link that video for you. I won't rehash that again. We had settled back in after I'd gotten home. I had been on blood pressure medication. I'd gotten better, and I was just really thankful that I wasn't having to take my blood pressure every day again. Things had normalized. I wasn't on the medication anymore, and that landed us about 6 weeks, 7 weeks postpartum. The last time I talked to you guys here on YouTube, I shared a short talking about 1 to 2 kid transition, a 6-week update, and I'd let you know that overall things were great. I also wasn't feeling the postpartum depression and anxiety stuff that I had felt with Finn, and I was really thankful for that. Well, it was about 2 weeks after that, maybe a week 7 to 8 postpartum, I got hit like a Mack truck with postpartum depression and anxiety. This time a lot more anxiety, but also some depression. Having a kid in the winter is no joke. I'm somebody that struggles with seasonal depression anyway. I've been super open with my mental health struggles, so I figured, why stop now? I'm just going to go ahead and share with you guys in the hopes that, you know, it could help somebody else seek treatment if they need it. And I was, going along for a little bit. I thought, I can handle this. I did therapy before. I kind of know how to process this, and it was just getting worse. So I had scheduled some appointments so that I could get in to be seen. I had my first therapy appointment on a Monday. I talked to my therapist about how I was excessively worried about health things and keeping my boys safe, and that's what I was struggling with. And the next day we took Henry into his 2-month-old appointment. Long story short, he was down in weight. He had lost a good amount of weight since our last visit, and I was just very confused because we were going up in sizes of clothing. He was getting longer, but he was not gaining weight. So my pediatrician said, you need to bump up the calories on the formula. I was breastfeeding at the time, and I also need to give him a bottle so I can track what he's taking. Took him home, and feeding him with the bottles was an absolute just nightmare. He was getting pretty lethargic. He wasn't eating, and I was calling back saying, hey, like, this is not normal. Like, what do you guys suggest we do? And they were like, try a level 2 bottle nipple because he needs to be able to get more out. That's why it's taking him so long to eat. The same gut intuition that was tapping me on the shoulder saying I needed to go in when I had my blood pressure issues was starting to nag at me again. And so after 2 days of calling the doctor, well, like a day and then the next day. So like we went in on a Tuesday. Wednesday I was calling the doctor and our pediatrician was out, so she was going to call me back on Thursday. By the time my husband got home Wednesday afternoon from a work trip, he was like, this doesn't seem right. Let's take him to the ER. We took him to the ER. We got some more of, he's having wet diapers. He's got all of his other vitals were fine. He didn't have a fever. So they sent us home and suggested that we make sure that we get him fully awake for the feeds and that we give him a level 2 nipple on the bottle because he just wasn't getting enough compared to what he was used to, especially because I had an oversupply. We left that night and I just really didn't feel like any questions were answered. I didn't feel like anyone was listening to me, but we went home and we did as the doctors were told. I'm a person that I trust my intuition, but I also trust medicine. I trust doctors. I don't have that type of knowledge. Do a lot of research. I find good care teams, and that's that. That night was really hard to get him to eat throughout the night, and the next morning I just said, we're going to go to the pediatric ER because I didn't feel like that day before anything had gotten done, and he was getting pretty lethargic, and really just as a mom I was starting to be like, this is not right. Even though they told me last night what to do, like, this is not right. Then the pediatrician had called back from my calls the day before and said, I suggest you take him to this pediatric ER near us. They have a really good doctors and everything, so we went there. Long story short, they ran a ton of tests, from everything from an ultrasound to a metabolic panel to everything in between on Henry to figure out what was going on. They first thought it was a stomach thing, a pilar, something with a muscle in your stomach. If you're in the medical field, you probably know what that is. We did an ultrasound for that. That came back negative. And so we were just trying to figure out what was going on. The metabolic panel came back and it was so out of whack that the ER doctor was like, that has to be an issue with our lab. Let's run it again. They ran it a second time and it was worse. And she came in and she said, I really talked about this a lot. She said, we don't have any kidney doctors on our service here. I recommend that you take him down to Lurie Children's, downtown Chicago. An ambulance is on the way. Mind you, this is on his 2-month birthday. I didn't fully know what was going on. They just knew that we needed to get him downtown so that we could figure out what was going on. And it's probably good that I didn't know the full extent of what was going on the ride down there. I just knew that we needed to get him some help. But he was doing better with the fluids that they had given him because he was severely dehydrated. And yeah, so we get him downtown. And I rode in the ambulance. My husband followed behind. And I was greeted by 15 plus medical people as they're rolling him, 2-month-old, on a stretcher into the PICU. And I'm sitting there talking to a doctor, prepping me that he might need kidney dialysis. That's a moment as a parent that will never leave me for the rest of my life. The metabolic panel apparently showed that all of his electrolytes were so off that they thought he was going into kidney failure and he was going to need dialysis. So that night we were there. They got him the medicine that he needed via IV. Poor guy had to go through a lot, but they got him stable. And then we were able to talk to doctors about what was actually going on. The next morning, they did some tests and we actually found out that it was not his kidneys. The kidneys were a byproduct of a blockage that he had. They thought it was a posterior urethral valve, a PUV, which can be from your bladder to your ureter, causing basically like reflux and making your kidneys not work right. So they told us that. So we went in on a Thursday. That Friday night, they were like, we're taking him in for surgery at 3 o'clock. My 2-month-old is going to be under anesthesia, but it was one of those situations where like there were no other options. We had to get him better. So they got him into surgery. They removed the blockage, and actually what was in there was not a valve, because they said the valves, I guess, could flow backwards. It wasn't actually a valve. It was a blockage that just grew with him as he was growing, and it was acting like a gate. So it would open, he would be able to pee a little bit, but it was blocking him from really getting rid of all that extra waste, which was causing him to be lethargic, having him to throw up, which he did, having his body to be so out of whack. And knowing now, like, thank God I didn't know at the time, because I probably would have frozen, had no idea what to do, but I mean, it could have caused just worst case scenarios that you're thinking it could have caused that. So thank God that we got him to the ER when we did. So they did the surgery, found out that it was a super unique polyp that was blocking him from being able to get rid of the waste from his kidneys, and not his kidneys actually shutting down. So they ended up removing the blockage, and he is now doing really well. We had a couple setbacks in the hospital trying to get his levels figured out. figuring out that, you know, his body needed a little bit more time to process things like calcium, so he's on a special formula now. And I'm just really thankful that we're home. It's been hard to process things like, how did I not know that he was in this much pain and what was going on? And the doctors have reassured me that I did everything right, like I wouldn't have known, but as a mom, it's really hard to think that way. So yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot being home and mentally not being able to really enjoy being home because of what's going on mentally. So I'm working on that. But this has been a really hard time for our family, and I'm hoping that the worst is behind us. We've got follow-up and things, but today we're celebrating his third month birthday. Yeah, if it's a birthday, 3 months old today. He's healthy, he's thriving, he's gaining weight, he's growing, he's happy. He's basically like Henry 2.0, and I'm really thankful. To answer a lot of your questions with comments I'm getting, I don't know when I'm going to be fully back. I'm going to try to get back in the swing of things here, to get some, I mean, this is like self-care for me. I love what I do. I love the craft buddies. I love creating content for you guys. But I also ask that you give me some patience and some grace as I try to figure out not only what it's like to have 2 kiddos, but also what it's like to, you know, navigate, you know, follow-up appointments and just making sure that I'm present with my family. Thank you for the support. I know a lot of you guys will ask how you can help, and I know I've seen it in the comments, but I did just want to share in case you're interested. And this doesn't just go for me, it goes for any other creator that you want to support, especially on YouTube. You can watch old content, and anytime you do, if you let the ads play, that just helps support us. That's how we make our money. That's how we can make free content for you. Advertisers pay to put ads on our videos to reach you guys. And so that is how we are able to support ourselves and our family. Overall, we are home. We are on the mend. I'm so thankful to have my little Henry home. He's doing great. 3 months old. I just kept telling myself through the whole thing, like, that we're going to get through this and we're going to tell this story at his graduation and at his wedding. Again, thank you for watching. This is definitely one of the most, probably the most raw and real, transparent video I've ever posted. But I wanted to let you guys in and let you know kind of where I've been and what we've been dealing with. I think having people to support us and those of you that are praying for us, it helps make the load a little lighter. So thank you. Thank you to everybody that reached out and noticed my absence. I know you guys will be here when I'm back, and I'll try to keep you posted as much as I can when that will be. So thank you guys. I'm so appreciative. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.